Yo, what's going on, friends? What's poppin', and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, sporting the new away kit. There it is. Lovely. Fortunately, due to the close-up camera angle, you can't get the best look at it. It's really nice. Chelsea have already done it again. Apologies to my wallet. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. As always, welcome back to Chelsea news. And of course, we are in a transfer window. It's all popping off. And we are reacting to the Athletic deal sheet, which is always a Tuesday treat, isn't it? In the morning. Yesterday evening, UK time, afternoon in Atlanta, Chelsea beat LAFC 2-0, which was a pretty good performance, all things considered, for the first game of the Club World Cup against a surprisingly resilient and spicy LAFC. So if you're yet to watch my match review and you're interested in that, we look at the players, the Delap performance, all of that stuff. Do go seek out my match review, which is the previous upload to this one. All right. So we are speaking about the deal sheet today. I may have accidentally swore there. Deal sheet. That's what my French mother sounds like when she swears. We're gonna get into it. By the way, thanks for joining me. If you want to support the content, you're welcome to. You can do that by liking this video, and if you find yourself enjoying the content, returning, and you're yet to subscribe, why not subscribe, man? We are on the road to 200,000, which is superb. I'm very thankful for that. If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah. All right. Let's read this then. So this presumably is like Simon Johnson and other Athletic contributors. So what's happened over the last week? Chelsea increased their bid for Jamie Gittens up to £42 million on June the 10th, of course, which was the deadline of the initial mini window. This was rejected by Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea wanted to do it to get him over the line for the Club World Cup registration, much like we did with Liam Delap, which of course was a much easier deal to do. He had a £30 million buyout clause, one that many clubs were willing to meet, but we managed to convince him to come to Chelsea. The offer did not include the fee being paid in one lump sum, and was not high enough for Dortmund anyway. Yeah, they've got this some like crazy high valuation for Gittens. But Gittens has already come to terms with Chelsea on a 7-year contract, a story that I've reacted to a while ago now, and the two clubs have not reeled out I've been for a run and had a shower, but my body's still hot, so my glasses are steaming up, but I need them to read. What a difficult crossroads here. The clubs have not ruled out reaching an agreement in the future. Now, the future could be the immediate future. It could be. My colleague Tom Harris says the 20-year-old established himself with 8 goals and 3 assists for Dortmund last season. He's a speedy dribbler with a powerful right-footed shot. Really powerful by all accounts. He overperforms his expected goals, which we like as Chelsea fans because we don't see it often. As we can see from the plot below, only 2 players have attempted more take-ons than Gittens last season, maintaining a respectable success rate. Yeah, look at this, bro. Oh, my freaking glasses. Look at this. Look at this. The 2 players are Lamine Yamal. He ain't bad, is he? And Jeremy Doku. And Jeremy Doku is an insane dribbler. Like, he only scored 3 Premier League goals for Man City last season, which you'd have to say isn't good enough. But he is, one thing can't be denied about Doku, he's just insane at take-ons, 1v1s. Obviously, you need more productivity out of him. Jamie Gittens scored more goals than Doku. Jamie Gittens, who's, much better dribbling than Nico Williams, scored more than him as well. If you look at it, Gittens makes a lot of sense. Yeah? So I'm into it. But if we start providing it's not silly nonsense money. Excuse me. Chelsea have ended their interest in Milan goalkeeper Mike Maignan. We've heard this before from the Athletic. Now, I'm hoping that this is a brief from Chelsea. That Chelsea are going to Milan. Yeah, whatever. We don't want him. Look, we just beat LAFC with Rob in goal. We're fine with Rob. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got Penders for the future. Don't worry about Milan. We don't want Mike. You carry on. You lose him on a free in 12 months. the ultimate strong negotiating position, and a winning attitude for a game of chicken. Right? Or possibly not. We never made an official bid. It was sort of sounding each other out. They had told the City A club the most they would pay is 15 million euros, which is kind of fine. I know everyone went, but it's Maignan and the goalkeeper you get. I kind of understand both positions. He turns 30 next month. He's got 12 months left on his contract. Milan value him at more. I do wonder if we see something still happen. If it is a public position of Chelsea, if say we sweep in. Who knows, maybe we sign him on a free. Or maybe we do a pre-agreement in January, because he wants to come to Chelsea. That's what all the French briefings would say. Meanwhile, Chelsea's third choice keeper, Marcus Bettinelli, completed a permanent switch to Manchester City for an undisclosed fee. Although, I imagine, which was pretty nice. Get that money before they get relegated. They ain't getting relegated, let's be honest. They're going to get off scot-free, aren't they? Yeah, just quickly on Bettinelli, I saw some people getting a bit antsy about his comments about going to Man City and how, you can't, Chelsea's great, but you can't ignore Man City when they come calling. Yeah. Why has people got offended by that? It's your third choice keeper that's probably just got a massive pay rise. He didn't play football for Chelsea. He's not going to play football for Man City. So it's a nothing statement. He's just good PR. He's an intelligent guy, He was a really good, important figure at Chelsea, a leader, a senior figure, a guy that players could go to. And we should be thankful for his time at Chelsea. He was around for certainly the Conference League win. Wasn't he around for Club World Cup and stuff like that? Yeah, so, and was a figure in the dressing room for a top 4 finish. Great. His family's going to get more money. His kids are going to get to go to better schools. So, of course, he goes to Man City and says, yeah, when Pep comes calling, Man City comes calling, yeah, good luck. I don't know why people, unless you're there's a few situations it's not for me to tell people how to support their clubs, but I didn't really understand the Trent hate. I'm not a Liverpool fan, whatever. Do you know what I mean? The fact of Kai Havertz, I have no issue him going to Arsenal, and I have no issue with him saying, his current employer, Arsenal, it would mean more to win the Champions League than it would with Chelsea. It's just being clever professionals. Unless you're Frank Lampard and he went to Tottenham and went Tottenham's better than Chelsea, obviously I'd be fuming. I was fuming when Mourinho went to Tottenham manager. But all this stuff in between, I realise I'm waffling a little bit now. But I had been thinking about that. And it's my channel, I wanted to express myself. Alright, mate. Let's move on. Let's keep strolling on down through the deal sheet. Will Chelsea sell Georgi Petravic? Now, this is a huge talking point, my friend. They are certainly open to the idea. Petravic wants to be assured of a starting role somewhere, with Chelsea unable to promise him that. The 25-year-old Serbia international is exploring his options. So, briefing or not, this is what's being publicised in the papers. Petravic asked. He asked to be left out of the Club World Cup. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to fight for his place. He wanted to just be guaranteed to play no matter what happens next, which is kind of fine from his perspective, and it's fine for Chelsea as well to say no. I kind of get it, He has 4 or 5 clubs from the Premier League, and elsewhere. So 5 clubs expressing an interest in him, and yeah. Good goal, very good goalkeeper. There was a gentleman's agreement between Chelsea and the player that he can leave for about £25 million. Petravic has been given the green light to find himself a club over the next month, and will be prepared. That will be prepared to play Chelsea's valuation. Sort of fine. It's a shame. I wish he would have come and been like, yeah, I'm better than the other alternatives. I'm going to fight and show you, Maresca, that I'm undroppable. But fair play to him. He does what he wants. Everyone has their own, career, as it were. If nothing comes of it, Petravic will report back for pre-season training. A return to French side Strasbourg, where he impressed, could be a possibility, and they have maintained an interest in him. Although I believe the director of Strasbourg said it's not possible because better teams want him. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe he's just trying to douse the expectation of the Strasbourg fans, and then if he does go back there, it'll be a nice surprise. So, what positions are we looking at? Because actually, we got players. Nothing has changed on this front. The priority is still a right-footed left winger. Something that we'll speak also about Fafana in a moment, by the way. still a right-footed winger, something that head coach Enzo Maresca confirmed in his press conference that we're looking for, because of Mudryk and Sancho. He's like, yeah, we need to look here. Gittens is clearly the most likely to fill the winger role as things stand due to the negotiations that have already taken place. He's agreed personal terms. There's dialogue between the clubs. Among the also, he's registered for the Club World Cup and Dortmund play tonight, 5 p.m. Be very interesting to see if he's used by the manager who doesn't favour him. Among the candidates being viewed to meet the other attacking requirements is Eintracht Frankfurt striker Hugo Ekitike, we all know well. Midfield, West Ham midfielder, attacking player, winger, Mohamed Kudus, who's 24 years old. Which, by the way, will be interesting. There's a huge buyout clause for him that we would never meet. But it'll be very interesting to see if they could get around the table for Kudus, because we looked at him a couple of years ago. And a 23-year-old forward, João Pedro of Brighton. I quite like him, personally. Look, just quickly, I know he's a Brighton player, and that makes everyone recoil inherently, naturally, whatever. But I do think, now we've got Delap, and now we've got Jackson. He's a kind of... João Pedro would kind of fill the Nkunku spot in. He could play in behind. He could play out wide. He could play up front. Like, last season when we were screwed, when we were playing Tyreek George as a striker in competitive games, like, you'd feel a lot better if that third choice was João Pedro, a guy that's played striker a lot to good effect in the Premier League. I don't hate it, provided it's not silly money from Brighton. I'd love it for him to be like, put a transfer request and we get him for like 45 million or something, because they'll want 60 plus. I don't hate it. Let me know your thoughts on João Pedro. It's not being spoken about here, but of course, Vultmada, or is that how you pronounce it? Or Nick Waltmade, although I'd like to think it's Vultmada, is being linked, but not being briefed here by The Athletic. We've also made an inquiry for Lyon's Malik Favana. We'll look at his stats in just a moment for a bit of fun. That's what we like to do here, but let's get to the end of the deal sheet. RB Leipzig's Benjamin Seschko, a player Chelsea have admired for 3 years, was removed from the wish list when we signed Liam Delap, which makes sense, because they're like both proper conventional number 9s, slightly different to Jackson. I know they've got similarities, Delap and Jackson, but I kind of get how Delap has sort of fills that Seschko role. And then these other players that we're looking at, Ekitike and, João Pedro, can play as a striker, but they can also help you elsewhere. The 22-year-old is seen as a similar style to Delap. There you go. So who could be leaving? Well, let's do that. The long list of players that could be leaving and all loaned out of Chelsea this season. Most of the players that were loaned out last season, apart from Andrés Santos, thankfully. So, deep breath, Raheem Sterling, wow. I mean, we will follow that story as and when, but it'll be so intriguing to see how that develops. We will almost certainly loan him and pay half his wages, or more, if he doesn't accept Saudi. That's as far as I can see it going. Renato Vega will make a big profit on. Armando Bria, I think, should be loaned purely because we won't get his real true value until he plays football. Ben Chilwell, I think probably, although a sale would be ideal, I think Chelsea are willing to loan him as a gesture of goodwill and understanding how he's a good professional, a good player that just doesn't fit. Carney Chukwuemeka, possibly reloan to Dortmund with a buy option / obligation or a sale. I think he's seen as an excellent player. Disasi, sale. Joao Felix, we'd like to get him back to Benfica, but I don't know if the finances are there. Alfie Gilchrist should be a relatively straightforward sale, top end of the championship, or maybe even a lower Prem team. And Leslie Ugachukwu, excellent player, but now he's signed a Sugu and Lavia's playing and stuff. He's not got the minutes at Chelsea, but we should make, money back with him plus, in my opinion. A few of those Maresca has taken to America. Of course, Nkunku, I'm not going to spend time talking about that. I think it's very peculiar how we've taken him, let alone played him. Trev Chalobah will always be a player that Chelsea listen to offers for. If we do eventually sell him, I hope he gets a wicked move for the lad. Keenan Dewsbury Hall, of course, you'd have to assume he's got to go because he's got to go and play football. I think he'll look at the Chelsea move as not a nightmare, but as probably just about an incorrect move, which sounds crazy because obviously the links to Maresca, you thought he'd going to be a really important figure. But, you know, the only trophy we won this season, he was a big player. He won a European trophy at Chelsea. He was a big player in that tournament, really important. He did play the odd game and got minutes in the Premier League where he finished top 4 and would have featured in the Cups. So it wasn't like a horror season for a guy in his mid-20s. And he can go somewhere and be like, I had a really, you know, interesting experience at an elite club like Chelsea and I lifted a trophy and, yeah, well, I scored a bunch of goals. So, but I just think, yeah, you know, he probably would have liked to have been a solid starter in a Premier League team in like the middle third, sort of bottom half of the Premier League. As revealed last week, Kendry Páez is going to Strasbourg on loan, on a season-long loan, though we have heard of it, conflicting stuff here regarding him. Midfielder Matisse Mugu, bought from Saint-Etienne, will join him at Strasbourg. Teddy Sharman loan is on the verge of leaving on loan as well. Donnell McNeely has rejected a contract going elsewhere, as well as Leo Castledine. All right, so guys, we have been linked with winger Malik Favana. Really interesting. Alex from Tifo Football, the athletic YouTube channel, basically did like an analysis on this player in April. So way before we made inquiries about him, saying he's the perfect winger for Enzo Maresca, when he spoke about, look, Jadon Sancho might be going back. Mudrik's not available. Chelsea should be going for Malik Fofana. He is a player who we have now made an inquiry about. I want to have a quick look at him on some stats websites. This is him. It looks not overly impressive. Who do we compare him to? Sancho, who's playing on the left side. Jadon Sancho. More goals per 90, over a goal every 3 games, but overperforms his XG. I'm going to quickly pull up his X value page because that might give us a little bit more data. Here we go, Malik Fofana. Very much a left winger, very good at dribbles, 1v1s, of course, very important for Maresca. Shooting, meh, assisting, strong. Out of the two Gittens, Jamie Gittens is much more of a goal-scoring winger with a much harder shot than Malik Fofana, who's only 20 years old. He has made his first team debut for the Belgium national side. He got 5 goals out of 3.7 XG last season, so, you know, it's good shooting. He's just not taking the shots well enough. Athletic stats. Wow, I've never seen this before. Oh my word, this is new. How very exciting. Athletic stats. This is a live realization for me, guys. His overall is distance covered. Not great. I mean, we will look at this when we understand it better. Let's look at some more conventional stats, of advanced stats. Here we go. This is what we recognize. Oh, really good at crossing. And cutbacks. This is good for Liam Delap. This is what the striker wants. Crosses and cutbacks. So yeah, more of a facilitator to the strikers rather than a goal scorer like Gittens. But one thing's in common. Well, his dribbles is low here. Expected threats from carries is high. So he tries a lot of dribbles. Yeah. More like a less of an obvious, oh, I'm going to be slam dunked in the team and offer loads. And less of that and more of a profiling thing. Expected threats from carries is very high. Where is it? 97 percentile. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, from a guy, I mean, I might have watched like something on X of him playing, like a little comp of him. But from looking at the initial numbers, doesn't massively tickle the fancy. But if he's, you know, ultimately, if he's going to be what Maresca wants, and if we get him and Gittens, and why the ruddy heck not, you know? I put out to you guys, what do you think? Let me know about your thoughts regarding these links, the ins, the outs, the shake it all about. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I do hope to see you back here soon, mate. Take care of yourselves. Peace.